putting this together. This is an effort that's been going on for close to 2 years to get you here. And we're very excited about what's about to happen. I think it's going to be something that's totally historical for a band that's been around for many years, and the Sgt. Pepper release itself. John Lennon said nobody could do this live, or it was going to be musically impossible, and it's come out to be something phenomenal. At this moment, though, I'd like to introduce to everyone the main people. Without this, we couldn't do this. Cheap Trick, ladies and gentlemen.
Geoff come up when we, in just a moment, come back to answer questions as well. In fact, Geoff, why don't you come on up and grab this microphone here. Who would like to start out with just kind of a description of what this show entails? Rick?
Yeah, I'd like to hear the answer.
Okay, Robin? I'd like to defer to Geoff. Okay.
It's going to be a great show. You know, the music to start, the music that we get to fool around with, and the history of that music, and the history of everybody in the world basically knowing the music, and knowing that I actually had to rehearse. It was the first time I had actually practiced and rehearsed since 1967, because I started writing songs around then, and the fact that it was kind of placed in our hands through Geoff Emerick and through actually the Hollywood Bowl people made us do an audition, and we didn't fail, and we ended up doing our first 2 shows for 38,000 people. I actually didn't invite anybody to come to the show because I wasn't sure if we could pull it off, or at least I couldn't. And I actually, like I said, I had to rehearse, and I had to learn a guitar part, because you can't jam the solo to any of the Beatles songs and maybe get away with it. So it's we had a great blueprint to start with.
We were asked to do it actually because some of the people that were involved with the Hollywood Bowl thought that they wanted to do a Sgt. Pepper show, kind of, but they didn't have a rock band. They didn't think of it that way at first, but one of the people decided to suggest Cheap Trick because he was a big fan of ours. And when it was brought up, they gave us a call, and we thought, okay, we can do that, I guess.
Played here, but their music is played all over the world, and this is going to be kind of an interesting destination. And like with, once again, I'm surprised to see Geoff Emerick here. I didn't know you were going to be here today. I would have done something special.
What format will this show take? Can you tell us a little bit about what audiences will see?
A couple of the guests, and they'll probably perform songs with the orchestra. It'll be very supposedly, and bands never really tried to perform it live until we did it at the Hollywood Bowl.
The singers could never sing the songs.
There's 2 lead singers on the album. There's a lot of orchestration. You need 40 people to do the album.
The dicing and slicing of the tapes back then too.
The stereo situation was right. Them on. But one instance on this was Within You Without You, and Bunny will probably correct me on this, but it's something my sort of vague sort of knowledge of Indian music. It's sort of based on 16 beats to the bar, and there was one part of Within You Without You in the middle section where it slows down and goes back into the song. And the gap was a little too long, though it was the 16 beats, and we cut 2 beats out. And forever since, it's been an insult to the Indian musicians, and we did not realise that. And they've never figured out how they always got stuck at that particular point, where there was the 2 beats missing. That's like the best sort of example of that.
That's where Slumdog Millionaire, he probably will show up here in Vegas.
Oh, great.
Thanks.
I'll keep my fingers crossed. Surrender.
Yes.
So I'm lying about the maybe show up in Vegas. For one, we're not going to have.
Probably won't have guest vocalists like we'll be having in our show. In addition to the Sgt. Pepper songs, we'll also be doing some stuff from Abbey Road and some of the Beatle tunes from around the Sgt. Pepper album in the first half of the show and stuff. So it'll be the later era of the Beatles, and the stuff that's really not a 4-piece band wouldn't do this stuff really good. You need more guys to do this, and more players and string sections and stuff. So.
The soundtrack that you hear for that 70 show, yeah, that's us, and so we make records, but we have to put it into a new perspective. the new formats of releasing material. And so yes, we are a Guitar Hero, and we are a rock band, and and we have our album coming out too.
How's that?
Geoff, that was a nice friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, how'd you guys put the idea together of Sgt. Pepper and Cheap Trick?
Well, the Beatles came up with the idea, and we, since they weren't going to do some Cheap Trick, we thought we'd do some of their stuff, and it's turned out well. Very nice. Putting it together, and you can overdub my voice with the right answer.
It's a Cheap Trick impression of the material, not a cover situation, right?
That's right. It's Cheap Trick doing the songs, but we're not Beatlemania. Sometimes I wish we could be. We're not quite that good to be Beatlemania.
How about the fact that this is being done live, which speculation was it could never be done live. So now that you are doing it live, you guys are probably the only guys who can do it live. Am I correct?
I don't know about that. It probably was an offhand comment about doing it live. We don't know. You know, if you have enough people playing, it works. You have sound effects and sitars and kazoos and combs with paper and all sorts of crazy stuff. Glockenspiels, and I don't know what's all in there.
It's difficult to do live, so I think maybe they are right. It couldn't be done live, and so we're not really doing it. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're doing it
Yeah,
live.
we're doing it live.
Yeah, it's not taped or anything.
No,
I mean, we do it
that's
straight out
right.
live.
Okay.
Everybody's playing.
Well, we're an actual band with a band sound and a band identity, which the Beatles were too, and no band per se has done Sgt. Pepper's as a project like this. I think we're probably the first ones to be doing it in this sort of format, so it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be good.
What's the biggest challenge?
Mr. Kite. Benefit of Mr. Kite is one heck of a challenge.
They're all tough. It's trying to hit the right note at the right time in the right song. For me, Bunny, he does rhythm and time. He doesn't have to worry too much about the tone, where I have to worry about the tone. Is it? Now, Tommy, you take that answer.
I have a hell of a time playing left-handed. That was the hardest thing for me.
Got that right.
So I
You
gave
don't
up
play
on it.
left-handed.
No, I don't play left-handed. Their guy did. I can't remember his name.
The Sgt. Pepper album features a lot of lead bass because the bass was the last instrument put down on the record. So probably Tom's part is probably the most difficult part on the album to play is the bass. And of course Robin is singing John's songs and Paul's songs. So Robin's doing the work of two singers on Sgt. Pepper's. And
He said three.
And George.
Robin said three. I didn't know you were doing the George
Ringo.
song too.
Well, I will be on this
Ringo.
show.